traction, we're back in, and it's a fraction. You see the subtraction, but we are all back in. We got Danny to the left. He is our brand new guest. He does these open mics and all these jokes that everyone likes. They give him claps and shares. We need a new chair, but he is doing real good, and he is in our neighborhood all year. So that was what.
It's free flowing right there.
Yeah,
It's. I thought it was going to actually be pre-recorded. I didn't realize you were going to be actually doing the rap. That was something else.
I don't. It's like one day I just did it, and then 60 episodes into it,
You're just
whatever.
You're just a different beginning every time.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, it was pretty fun. I had another kind of co-host with me, and then he would just kind of bust some things, and we'd go back and forth. And sometimes, like, man, we gotta get a mixtape going on.
Oh,
you know?
It sounded very white.
It
So.
did exactly. That's what I was gonna say. As long as they didn't put the video on it, it'd be even better. You know, but with the auto tune. But that's what I got. You know.
Well, thanks for coming. I really appreciate
Yeah, well,
you
appreciate
being
it.
here.
This place is nice, bro.
Yeah, it is.
I
Thanks.
appreciate it.
I really like what I did with the lights.
Yeah.
I like this whole corner over
Purple.
here. And the severed alien head.
Yeah, I put that in front because in case someone breaks in, somebody was coming in, and I was trying to figure out, like, do they just have open door policy and they come in and check my place out? I was freaking out. Like, so I went and talked to him, like, man, someone's coming in like every Thursday. They're like, yeah, the cleaning lady. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'll put the mask away.
I used to be the cleaning lady once upon a long time ago.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good job.
Yeah, I ran my own janitorial company forever
Oh,
before I started doing comedy, yeah.
By any chance, did you clean the radio stations?
No, I
Oh.
did not. No. It was mostly Social Security offices and agricultural offices.
There's money in all that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I did it.
Yeah,
I wasn't
100%.
like
No.
cherry striping my janitorial service.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like people don't understand like how many little hustles where it takes down to. If you want to make some money, you just have to do it. And we were talking about that the other night. I was in front of the Dicicoos there. I was saying the difference between one comic and the other is typically they're doing it.
Right. There, and here the funny thing about comics is when I first started doing it, I thought, oh, I'll be famous in a couple of weeks. And then you realize it's a job. It's something that's really hard to do. And it's not, you just don't make it. You just don't. And the other thing I learned was if you have a passion about something and you want to make it your living, you're going to find a way to make it your living.
100%.
And that's what I did.
Yeah.
So.
And if you're not dedicated, you'll find an excuse.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I did for like 5 years after I started my comedy career. It was like, oh, you know what? I'll be done with my job next year. I'll be done with my job next year. And I kept making excuses why I couldn't quit my job.
Yeah.
And then my job quit me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I'm going to see how long I can do comedy before I find another job. And that's been 11 years.
Yeah.
So I've been supporting myself off of dick jokes for 11 years,
Hell
which
yeah.
is nice.
When opportunity knocks, you just got to open that door.
Yeah, or
you know?
And if nobody answers, sometimes you got to knock it down and just take what you want.
Yeah, and you got to knock twice and see if they ask who's there.
Yeah.
You know? How's that going over there?
Everything was good.
That's our producer, Phoenix, by the way. He just, after every show, he rises from the ashes and starts another podcast. It's great. We love you, Phoenix.
That's exactly where he got his name from there.
Was it?
Yeah, because, Fresno, they say it's like Ashtown,
I did not know they called it that.
I guess the Native Americans, they say because there used to be ash trees, so they call it an ash town. So, Phoenix is someone rise from the ashes, and maybe he'll move.
I tell you, it's an ass town.
Yeah.
I know that.
Yeah,
There's
for
a lot of nice ass out there.
Yeah, people don't understand how many female and good-looking females there are.
I wasn't talking about
everywhere.
the females. I was talking about the male.
Oh,
no.
hell yeah.
It's
Linebackers,
great. Yeah.
linemen.
It's great
can't wait
because
till
the
college football
comedians
starts.
come down here from L.A. and San Francisco. And when they get here, they're like, how did you get so many beautiful women to live here? And I was like, cheap rent, man.
Yeah.
That's what you need to do.
Yeah, they try to make it to the top and then just funnel down to the valley.
So all the really hot women in L.A. are working around all the other hot people, so they never get to see them. They don't come to the comedy clubs. And they're all models or actresses or waitresses or whatever. Here, they're just everything.
Yeah, I say the medium fish in a small pond.
Yeah.
We're all in this fucking small pond. The medium fish thinks we're big dogs, So that's what we have here.
Yeah, it's kind of nice. It's kind of nice. And that's how I get the comics that I get. We do a show on Wednesday, and they're traveling back and forth from San Francisco to L.A., and they'll just pop in and do a show.
Yeah, which we'll make sure we talk about it early in this podcast so no one makes it past 5 minutes. You do the open mics, which is just the tips.
Well, actually, Just the Tips is the only one that I do now that is open mic. I used to run 3 open mics a week in town, and then after the pandemic, I decided to redo my comedy producing because I'm heart of heart. I'm a comic. I get booked throughout the country. That's what I like to do. I like to go out and have people just pay me to come out and do a comedy set somewhere in like Hawthorne, Nevada, or up in Washington, that kind of stuff,
and leave,
and then I don't have to set up the mics. I don't have to do that, but I do a feature show every Wednesday at Dicicoos. What it is, it's a regular comedy show up front with a headlining nationally touring comedian, and then after that, we put on the open mic because I really want there to be an audience. That a lot of the open mics are just comics performing for comics and a couple of their friends.
Yeah,
and that's what, especially in L.A., San Francisco, that kind of thing. That's what seems to always happen. And a little bit around here,
There's
too.
too much to do there.
Yeah, but what the comics like about my mic is they come in to see the headliner, and then they stay to see the either good or shitty comedians afterwards.
For sure.
And that gives those comics an ability to see what a real audience will react. Because your friends will laugh at your stuff, and it might not be something an audience. Or comics laugh at other comics' stuff when it gets real dark.
Yeah.
But audiences don't always buy into that.
They try to stay off the edge, right in the middle there.
Yeah. And so it's a learning process for those kids because they get to see what they need to work on.
100%.
If they decide to work on it.
Yeah, no.
Some do, some don't.
Yeah, when I go up there, I some reason I just fucking block everybody out, and then I stop doing any crowd work. I'm all, any married people here? And no one waves their hand, and then I kind of like oblivious to the fact. I'm like, dude, I gotta wake the fuck up.
No. That's probably the best thing you could do. One thing I teach new comedians is do not wait for an answer. If you're gonna ask a question, it's a question you don't ever need an answer to. Just if they don't give you the answer you want, go, oh, that guy said, and then because you'll sit there and blow 15 seconds, 15, 20 seconds of a 3 or 4 minute set, which is like 20% of your set on doing crowd work instead of getting up there. And I notice the comics that do really well on our open mics are the ones that are well scripted. They know their 3 to 5 minutes. They get up there, bang it out, and then get off. If there's one thing I could tell an open mic comedian to stop saying at the very beginning of their set is, how you guys doing? Because by the time that comic's got up, the audience has been asked how they are doing about 12 times.
Yeah.
Because every comic, hey, how you guys doing? Yeah, we're not here for that. Just get into your stuff.
Yeah, I don't even like saying my name because it feels like I'm at an AA meeting.
Right.
At that time, it's like number 10. Hey, I'm Ruben.
Yeah, it should be the host's job to bring you up with your name.
Yeah.
But I always think, don't say your name at the beginning, but as you're leaving the stage, that's when...
Definitely.
Because they don't care who you are at the beginning of your set, for the most part, unless you're Dave Chappelle or Jim Jeffries. But they'll remember, if you made them laugh throughout your set, who you are at the end of your set. So you don't have to say who you are at the beginning, unless it's playing into a joke.
Yeah.
But afterwards, make sure they know who you are.
Exactly.
Unless you had a shitty set. Then just make up a name and get off.
Name someone else's name, get out of there. Yeah. Instagram, say you got an OnlyFans, get them out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of doing an OnlyFans.
Yeah.
For just totally naked all
Feet,
the time.
oh, hey, that's
naked stand-up.
That might work. It's like Bert Kreischer Extreme.
Is he doing that?
Well, he's half naked.
Oh, okay.
Just go all out. Yeah. That'd be nice. Oh, yeah. You gotta do what you gotta do nowadays.
Speed bump comedy. Yep.
Yeah, there you go. It'd be bits and pieces.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Well, sweet, man. But so besides the Wednesday night, you had who was that last comic you had on last Wednesday? By the way.
Last Wednesday we had.
He was the really buff guy.
Buff guy. Wednesday.
Maybe he's a rounder guy.
Oh, rounder. Oh, Matt Cole. Yeah, Matt.
He was funny.
We had a lot of fun with Matt.
Nice.
Matt and me go way back. Most of these comics that you'll see coming through used to spend the night at my house because, like, we would do 3 nights in a row.
Yeah.
And 3 different. We'd do 2 at Dicicoos, 1 at what was it called, Grog's.
Yeah.
So they would stay for 3 nights. So I just put them up in my apartment. So all these guys have become really, really good friends of mine. and they know they have a couch to crash on when they come out here.
Sure.
Keep the price down on them. But Matt decided to get a hotel room across the street because he was wanting to get real drunk.
Yeah.
And he did.
Yeah, good thing they gave him that big old loaf of bread then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure that didn't last very long afterwards.
Yeah.
But yeah, we went out after the show. He destroyed it. We used to run big shows out at AppCal. Big comedy shows where like we get 700 to 1,200
Awesome
people
place.
out there. And well, they closed it down.
Did they? Completely?
Yeah. The farmer that owned the land sold it, and they shut down the house, everything. The stage is gone, everything.
So,
I think they're gonna set it further back to where the scary Halloween thing was.
Hobbs Grove.
No, it's not Hobbs Grove. It's a different one.
Okay.
But yeah, a little bit further back off the highway.
That's a good idea. Good venue. You know?
Yeah, it was.
We're off the freeway. There's no real travel. It's a freeway.
Yeah, it was a great spot. Then they put a gas station up. They had this giant parking area. They bring food trucks out. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, like I said, the farmer sold it. They looked at the bottom line and said he could probably make more money.
For sure.
Just putting grapes out there.
Instead of just having a party.
Yeah.
Screw it. No less liability too. How long you been doing stand up for?
If I had to, I don't know, like 15, 16 years.
You started for a long time ago.
When I was 39, so I'm 53 now. So whatever the math is there.
You say you were in a music band at Las Vegas?
No, I was in a music band with two house musicians from Las Vegas. They were the house band in Vegas, so they played with all the big names because the big names would come in and they didn't have, a guitarist and a drummer, and they knew all the songs, so they would just
also playing covers and stuff.
Yeah, they used to have a cover band. We were in a cover band. We did all originals, and they were really bad, so we stopped being a. Well, actually, they were twin brothers. One of the brothers was not so nice to his wife. I don't want to get too far into it, but he got into drugs and he wasn't being very nice to his wife. So I was like, I don't want to be around this.
Yeah.
So I got out of doing music, which I wasn't very good at it anyway. And I'm tone deaf, so I don't know.
What part did you play?
I was the lead singer and I was a lyricist.
Yeah.
So I like to write, so they picked me up. And it was, at the time it was fine, but now I think both my eardrums are busted from being at too many concerts throughout my life, and I am tone deaf as all get out. So stand-up is probably the best thing I do into a mic.
Yeah, I can barely sing. I say I can't sing at all. People say, you can kind of sing. Well, I think it means I can't sing at all. If I don't have my guitar, I totally can't sing. And if I have one sip of alcohol, it's fucking done too.
Yeah, that's with comedy. I don't drink before I go up on stage.
Yeah.
I will start drinking while I'm on stage, but since the pandemic, I've cut way back on my drinking as well. So I try not to drink at shows whatsoever that I'm running. Now, if somebody hires me to do a show afterwards, I got a hotel room or whatever in the city. I don't mind having a few drinks after that. But I switched my entire thought process from pre-pandemic to post-pandemic.
Yeah.
So
that's good.
It's a whole new ball game for me.
Well, yeah. See, life before and now is the same to me. I'm like, no, shopping cart. Me and my wife would go to the grocery store. We're only getting one thing. I'm like, no, this is a fucking buffer. I got the shopping cart and I'm always cleaning it. Like, what are you cleaning it for? I just don't know these people, And forgetting me, the adults, the little kids are just fucking wiping their nose and shit,
Well, it's funny that a lot of people are against a lot of the stuff that came out of COVID. That is just stuff we should be doing anyway.
100%.
Like washing your hands, wiping stuff down after somebody else uses it.
We're wiping the handrails now.
Yeah.
Now?
Yeah.
Now? What the fuck?
And you look at any influenza kills a lot of people. This one killed probably double or triple the amount of regular influenza does. But it's just stuff we should be doing to keep from getting the regular flu anyway.
For sure.
So
yeah, I agree 100%. I thought it was funny, like I always talk about pre-pandemic, it was really big for MMA guys to go to like Big Bear up in the mountains to get little oxygen deprivation, and then when they come down to fight, or they would wear those masks. Remember with the vents on them? They're like, yeah, I'm getting strong. A year and a half later, the thin one is killing them. Like, I don't know. I'm gonna die if I wear this fucking thing.
Yeah. Whether you want to wear your mask or don't wear your mask, I'm not gonna have a fight with you.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
It's the people that fought with like the guys at Trader Joe's because that's just what the corporation said they had to do, and it's like you're fighting with a guy who's a cashier who makes less money than you do a year.
Yeah.
You know what? Just don't go if you're going to have a problem with it, but don't.
That's their system.
Don't
Just
shit
go.
on the smallest rung. He already has to deal with a lot of stuff.
Fuck yeah,
from
he's going to get
people.
fired for your fucking mask.
Yeah. So, send your emails to the upper guys.
Go ahead.
They'll throw them out.
Yeah.
But why beat up on the little guy?
That's what happens. Back in the day, like my parents' time, you write a letter to your senator, right?
And they would respond.
That's what you're supposed to do. You call them up and shit, But, nowadays, fucking people want instant fucking, I'm taking care of this right now.
Yeah, that's why I got off social media, except to advertise for my shows and whatnot. That was probably the biggest change in my life that the pandemic brought out, because I lost so many people to the COVID-19 virus responses on Facebook that I unfriended them. I just looked at both sides, and I get on Facebook. I post what I need to post. I don't put anything personal up. I don't argue with anybody online. If somebody posts something on my threads that I don't like, I just delete it off of it.
Yeah.
And I move on.
Yeah.
If they keep doing it to an extreme, I block them. It's just super easy. I don't
Yeah.
know most of these people anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
So getting off of social media, it was like I was carrying around, and I was one of the worst ones at it, fighting with people on Facebook. But I felt like I was carrying an elephant around, and then when I got off social media, it was like, oh, this thing's heavy, and I took it off.
Yeah.
And now I feel great.
Yeah.
So I let those crazy trolls fight it out among themselves, and I don't have to do anything.
Yeah, I've predominantly been off Facebook for almost like 3 years. I'll get on like every 6 months, or maybe like first I got on like after a year and a half. I was like, let me see what's up. And I got on there, and it took me about a day and a half to say, fuck all these people, they're stupid. And then I was like, I got off again, and then I'd see if I can get on again. I realized I was banned. And then I'm like, 6 months later, I'm like, let me see if I can get on again. And then I'm like, I get on again. And I'm like, I can only last like a couple hours now, because I always realize that what am I doing? Like, people, I'm never making change.
No.
Just never like, so what am I having an argument for, just to get out some, I don't have any angst.
Yeah.
So I was doing it because I thought I was funny, and I thought I could maybe get people to look at shit, but I realized people ain't looking at shit. And then also, they're not even laughing at I'm getting them good, but now I'm just getting fuck yous.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not like, oh, you're funny. And I'll say, hey, I'm just joking. I'm sorry, man. I don't give a fuck. I'll always end it with, I don't mean to be mean. I'm just trying to be funny. But go check this out.
And that's what was happening with me. I was coming up with great points, and then I would go and tell my fiance, oh, look what I said back. And it was more of a, hey, look what I was doing.
Yeah.
Look what I was
look at
doing.
me.
And I'm like,
Thoughts and prayers.
I'd rather people look at me on stage.
Yeah.
So I post about the shows that are coming up and who I'm bringing out, and that's it. I get on Instagram once a day. I get on Facebook once a day, and like I say, I use Facebook. I don't let Facebook use me.
Yeah.
Because they will. They will
100%.
change your mental process. They have algorithms that know exactly how to fire you
what
up.
to buy.
Yeah. Well, oh, I say I don't mind that.
Where to go on vacation. I don't care about that either.
Yeah. Look.
Thank you.
People are like, oh no, I Googled this, and now only ads are coming up for it. I was like, yeah, that's perfect marketing.
Yeah.
That's something I want.
That's where I got my alien mask.
Yeah, I got like, I'm on keto, so every little side ad pops up.
Yeah.
It's either keto or low sugar, that kind of stuff, and I'm like, fuck, great.
Yeah.
I don't need F-150 being advertised, because I don't want one.
Yeah.
And now they've targeted me, and I'm like, that's the way to do it. And I've bought a lot of stuff off of that.
Yeah. No.
See, that's what, to me, Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, all that. It's all targeted ads for me.
Yeah.
Or for whoever's out there. I think it's great.
Yeah.
It's like Minority Report when he's walking through and he's talking to himself about buying all the products. I'm like, yeah, sell me what I want. That's what I want.
Yeah.
So I think it's great when it comes to stuff like that as the new form of radio. Like, it's the new form of radio, but it targets you with exactly what you want.
Advertising.
And that's brilliant.
Yeah.
But it also targets you with hatred.
Yeah, especially if you trigger the hatred.
Right. And
like, oh, you like that?
Yeah, and if a heated post gets like some attention by Facebook, oh, that's where they're going to send their ads to everybody. So they want to do stuff to fire you up.
Yeah.
And if they know one person will fire you up, of course they're going to make sure you see their posts, because they want to make sure that you get something going. Everybody jumps on, and then they can sell, an electric scooter.
If you made a positive, like you showed you saving a baby, somebody will make a post like, that was amazing. but then that's all they're posting.
Yeah.
There's no second response. But if you went in there and you punched a baby, you got fucking 5-day fucking comments, you know?
Yep.
So, yeah, 100%.
And I used to live for that, but it did nothing for anybody.
Yeah.
So I was just like, I got off of Facebook for 8-9 months and didn't respond to anything. Every now and then I'd use Messenger to talk to my family or whatnot, and that was it.
Yeah, it's funny. Every time I get on, it's the same guy. I'm a union electrician, one of my union brothers. He's a great guy. Matter of fact, when I first met this guy, he has 2 daughters. I'm like, oh, 2 daughters, cool. He's like, yeah. Like one, she's a fighter pilot, and the other one's a travel surgeon. I'm like, cool. Like nonchalantly, like, what the fuck, dude? You got the best daughters in the world, dude.
Yeah.
A fucking surgeon and a fighter pilot. You know, he's like, oh, yeah, they're pretty good. Like, oh my god. But every time I get on Facebook, he's the first meme. Whatever he posts comes up there, and it's such like. You know, I'm like, oh, this has got to be from Russia. You're like, this is bullshit. And then it gets me on there. I get rid of it. Don't get on there again. But Instagram, I've separated myself. So I do music. So I have a music one, I have a me one, and then I have a Line of Truth, and then a Legends podcast. I keep it all separate completely. And then if I'll put something political on my own personal something, I'll put a post. But then I'll only let it last like 5 days, and then I'll delete it.
Yeah.
But no one gives a fuck anyways.
Yeah. A lot of people want to fawn over the pictures you put on there, but really I'm
already blocked on everybody's shit.
Yeah,
you know,
I'm blocked on a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
As well. A lot of the comics around here probably have me blocked. So it's
Hey,
yeah.
it is what it is.
It is what it is. There's a big competitive scene in the Fresno Clovis area on comedy shows. And a long time ago, I was just like, I'm not buying into that.
Yeah.
I'm only going to be in competition with myself.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to worry about what anybody else is doing. If they want me on their show, they can hire me. But aside from that, I'm not going to sit there and be like picking apart each and every show that's coming up. I think it's great that we have more shows. I just wish the community would get a little closer together. And some of the young like open micers and guys who are actually I brought on the road with me, people like Mike Wooten and Isaiah Washington and kids like that are starting to realize, hey, you know, the more we unify these shows, the more opportunity everybody's going to get. And I think it's great because there's mics on every day, I think, except for like Tuesday and maybe
I think Monday, I heard there's not one. But
Monday, and then there's not one on.
If you go to Tulare or Hanford, there's ones all over every day.
And that's what these young guys, this is what I used to do, is just chase these mics until, you know, you get better and better. And I just don't have to chase the mics as much anymore. Because if I want to use an open mic, I'll use the open mic I'm running to try new stuff. Or I use the other mics I have because I'm going to be doing anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour, so I could slip a new joke in there.
Yes.
And then I always address it. If it doesn't do well, I was like, there's a new one. Maybe I need to work on that one a little bit. So I get an opportunity, you know, 3 or 4 days a week to kind of use the audience as my open mic, which is a lot of fun. But I also have my open mic if I ever want to run a new 3-minute bit. Yeah,
for sure. When I first started doing a podcast like 3 years ago, that's what I kind of was like, man, I want to do some open mics. But I was traveling. I drive to San Jose every day, and I was staying up there a lot. And so I was like, fuck, you know, working too much. And then so I'll run some gig, you know, jokes on this thing. And then I was like, I just got to go out and do it. I'm like, where is this Rooster Teeth feathers I keep hearing about with open mics? And I Google it, and it's like, it's right there. I can actually see it. It's been there the whole time. Like, if I don't go there right now, it's only my own fault. So I started going there and run them. But you have to go out there and put the time in.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it's like 10,000 hours in anything you do to get better at it.
And get together.
And it's hard to... And here's the thing. Your 10,000 hours also equal the amount of time when you first start performing in front of the mirror or to your friends.
Yeah.
I mean, that all counts. It's not as good as a live studio audience, but it does its job in the mechanics. So when I first started, I read... Malcolm Gladwell's book, The Outliers, about the 10,000 hours. Had nothing to do with comedy, but it was how to get good at whatever field you're in.
Yeah.
And that's what I started doing. I started hustling mics, and I got very fortunate because I right away started my own shows.
Yeah.
And then I was getting these guys calling me up from LA that run shows at the Hollywood Improv or the Brea Improv or the Comedy Store or at the Ice House.
Yeah.
So my first mics were not open mics in LA. They were actual stages.
Yeah. You went and did it.
Yeah, I went and did it. And these guys would then invite me to their open mics, and I was like, no, I've got this and this and this, and I didn't do a LA open mic until probably 5 years into my career, and it was horrible. Like, I had heard war stories about it, but it was like 6 people in the audience, and those 6 people were all comedians
going on stage.
Yeah, and they were just like, they were the most judgmental audience you could ever have, and I was like, oh, I don't ever do this again. So I started our own, quite a few of them in the Fresno Clovis area. But what I decided to do, because I watched how bad those were, was do a headliner, but I was putting them at the end of the open mic.
Yeah, it's a good setup.
Well, it is now, but I had the Just the Tips going where I would have the last comic be the headliner.
Yeah.
And nobody would stay for him because they had to sit through all these other comics that might not be so good.
Yeah, sorry about that.
And so what I did, it was like, I'm going to put the headliner in the middle of the show. That way, if people leave, they've seen a good show, they're going to talk about a good show.
Yeah.
They're going to be very excited. And the open micers, their friends won't leave after they saw the open mic because they're having to wait for their friend to go on after the headliner.
Yeah.
So that worked out perfect. The LA comics were like, why didn't anybody else think of this? This is the way to run an open mic. It's just give somebody a good 15, 20-minute set as the headliner and then circle through your open micers.
Yeah.
And then people have a tendency to stay for the open mic, even people that were there just for the headliner.
You're creating a good show.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah,
Fun stuff.
No, I like it. Also, for like me, I investigate and study everything. So every comedian up there, if you see me, I almost don't laugh 'cause I'm studying, I'm looking. So to see those guys who are really going on the road and doing all the work, it's interesting to me to hear how they flow and how long their set is, what they talk about, and topic to topic. So to me, I'm investigating.
Yeah. Well, it's good that you listen. The comics I noticed that are, especially on the open mic, that I know aren't gonna grow are the ones that are sitting behind the curtain of the comedy show, because the putting the headliner on before the open mic serves as twofold purpose. One, the young comics get to see somebody who's doing this as their profession, so you can learn from them. So the ones that never get better are the ones that are always behind the curtain, talking and drinking and eating and whatever, but not paying a bit of attention to the headliners that I'm paying to teach them. Yeah. Basically I'm paying them to come out to teach the open micers afterwards.
Yeah.
And if you don't take advantage of it, that's on you.
Yeah.
This is why you're not getting better. This is why you're telling the same joke over and over every week and it's just hitting the dirt. Yeah. Because you're not paying attention to the ones that are doing it for a living.
Yeah. That's another thing too. Interesting seeing some of the open micers. I've seen a couple guys 3 or 4 times and see what jokes they tell week to week and see if they have a transition and how your joke grows. That's always interesting. And saying, okay, like you said, is this person listening?
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, you got to change it up a little bit.
Yeah, because big thing of stand up is writing, but a bigger thing is rewriting. So if you're brand new, my suggestion is record every set.
Yeah.
Listen to how it responds with the audience, and then you'll figure out the wording for the joke if it's worthy of keeping.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it's not. Sometimes you try it 3 or 4 times, and it just throw it out. It's just not going to work.
Yeah.
But there's some jokes like that I've thrown out, and then because I had it down on paper, years later, I would revisit it and I'd come up with a different tag and it would resurrect a whole joke. Or sometimes it come up as crowd work and it seems like I'm super quick, but it was like, oh no, this is just a joke I threw away 6 years ago.
Yeah, it was in the pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was listening to Big J and he was doing that. And I remember you saying that in front of the place the other day, talking about that. And then I was watching Big J and he asked somebody a question and then he started going in. You could tell it's a skit. It wasn't really crowd work, but the crowd work set up his skit perfectly. It was like, yeah, that was good work, buddy.
Yeah, it's fun.
The art was there,
Yeah, it took me probably 5-6 years before I felt comfortable doing crowd work. And now sometimes I get in a little trap where I get into crowd work and then I try to get back to my material and the crowd's like, we just want you to talk to us now.
We're involved now.
Which I want them to listen to my material. My material is my babies.
Yes.
My crowd work is just like the whipped cream on top. It's not the meat of my comedy.
Yeah.
It's just like something added that makes it more palatable.
Yeah.
And sometimes I will be hired to do an hour, and I'll go up and I won't tell one joke because I get in this crowd where people love it.
Yeah.
But you know what the problem with that is? When they go home, they don't remember one joke I told. They don't remember anything about my set. They just know I made fun of Rachel and John and their friend Pedro. But instead of going home and go, oh, you know what joke I really like?
Yeah.
It was dark, but he, something that touched them. That's the problem with crowd work. They're not going to remember anything of substance when you get home. So you kind of shoot yourself in the foot if you're a crowd work comedian with no material.
Yeah. I'm a talker. I like to talk a lot. What's up?
How do you want Peyton and Presley to get back inside?
Front door.
The front door? Okay.
Yeah. Cool.
Who is this?
The other two.
Oh, you have two more coming in. Okay.
Well, they're gonna be here. They got another room to hang out in.
This is a really nice studio. It's just the air conditioner is not working, so there's an open door.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So if you guys don't realize this, but I'm very, very wary of my mouth because of the open door.
Don't even. Oh yeah. It's only like the most whitest group out here. I think upstairs is all mental health, and then Devin Nunes. And then
Devin Nunes is upstairs. I got some stuff to talk
right
to him
there.
about.
He's never. I never hear.
He's never here.
Name tag only. Yeah, like I said, I like to chat it up a lot, and I like to talk. And then I also realize at work, like if you're kind of good at your job, you kind of get away with some shit, right? So I'm kind of good at my job, so I talk a lot at work, and then I would just run bits all the time, and I'll just go group to group, and I'm just run it. Sometimes. Some people just don't like comedy or don't get it. So it doesn't matter what you tell them. They're like, really? I'm like, no, dude, it was a joke. Oh, I get it.
Yeah, and sometimes people get tired of people running bits too.
Yeah.
It's exhausting. Once you're a young comic, your friends that stick with you and keep coming to your shows, those are your dear friends because most of them are like, you'll get like 20 people at your first show, and then maybe one will come back and watch you again. And then if you keep running bits on them and just regular conversation, you're going to lose them as well.
That's why I don't invite anybody or tell anybody. I do like open my guitar, and I don't tell anybody anything I'm doing because this is not when I need you. I'm not ready yet. But when I actually have something important, I'll tell you then because that's when I need you to show up finally, because it might be that time you'd be like, dude, we went to 10 events and they sucked. How's this one going to be better?
Yeah.
So I don't invite any fucking buddy.
Well, I know when I first started doing comedy, people would be like, oh, I remember you back at, and they'll say like Ty Palms or whatever. They'll say, oh, you don't remember me then. That was 8-9 years ago. Yeah. This is completely different. This is a completely different comedian now. Because you just change, you grow, you evolve. That's what you're supposed to do with comedy. If not, I mean, there's a lot. I know a lot of big name comics that are making this money off of the same jokes they told 10 years ago. But I don't want to be that.
No.
It's just, that would be no fun for me.
No. I write music, and same thing. I can't play a song after a month. I'm fucking done with it. I'd hate to have to play that one fucking hit for 10 fucking years, Yeah. That'd be crazy. Unless they keep paying me, I guess.
Yeah, unless you're getting
then you're all coked out. It really doesn't matter.
Coked out, it works well.
Yeah, it gets you through the day.
Yeah.
This is advertising for cocaine.
It's
whatever microphone we're in.
It's delicious for your nose.
Yeah, it's crazy. I was thinking the other day, is cocaine changing today? Is there an evolution?
Oh yeah,
of
most of it's crack.
And fentanyl.
Yeah. Most of it is cut with stuff that you don't want to suck up your nose.
But back in the day, as I heard, I used to have Rolling Stone, and the things like that would always happen. Like there'd be like fresh, different stuff, and it would like you hit your nose, and as soon as it hit your nose, you'd be like, I need something from my other nostril. Before it even got to the back of the nose. And then nowadays, it seems like the people that I know, it's not the same.
It's crystal meth is what it is. Yeah. A lot of it is just ground up crystal meth and mixed maybe with a little bit of cocaine just to make it okay. You got to find somebody who has it good. And I stopped about a year and a half ago. Well, I stopped at the beginning of the pandemic.
Yeah.
I haven't had any since. So not that I'm opposed to it. If some found its way up my nose, I wouldn't stop it.
If it was vaccinated.
Yeah, just as long as it's vaccinated.
Yeah,
I have to have the vaccinated cocaine. Yeah. My problem is a lot of cocaine's cut with like flour, and I'm gluten intolerant.
Oh, not good.
Yeah, so I'm one of the few guys you'll see outside of when I'm trying to score some coke outside of like Whole Foods. being like, hey man, do you got any cage-free, free-range
Cocaine.
cocaine,
Yeah.
Organic. It's got to be organic.
Yeah.
No gluten-free, definitely gluten-free.
And it wasn't stepped on by a child, was it?
No.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Don't. I want to make sure it's safe labor practices.
But yeah, I changed up a lot of my lifestyle from the beginning because I was drinking till I passed out every night on the first couple of months of the pandemic. And I was like, I gotta stop doing this. I just started setting myself a routine every day, getting up at 5, 6 in the morning. Don't turn the television on until 5, 6 at night. There's just all kinds of rules I made for myself, and then I became ridiculously productive. Problem was, it wasn't in comedy. I was learning how to cook.
Yeah.
I was learning how to work out. I was getting everything done for me to be a better person, getting off all the drugs.
Could build skits.
Yeah, and I was surprised at the end of the pandemic. I had 20, which I don't remember the last time I wrote 20 minutes in a year. That's a lot of time.
Yeah.
But I timed it the last time I did a show, and I featured for Kabir Singh. I wanted to see how long I could do. I ended up doing a little over 25 minutes for him, but I did all new material, but there was some crowd work in there.
Yeah.
So that 5 minutes, I kind of gave it a buffer, and I was like, oh, I've got 20 new minutes that I wrote in the last 8 months, which is working, which is phenomenal.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
At the very beginning of it, I was traveling to San Jose every day, or I stayed up there for like 2 or 3 days, I'd come back, and then I got pretty sure COVID at the very, very beginning. I was sick, the sickest I ever got for 30 days. At that point, I'm like, I'm no longer going to stay up there. I started driving back up a day because I figured if I go up there and die, by myself, then no one's going to know for a while, until my, at the end of the
Phoenix, what kind of son are you that you wouldn't know your dad was dead after a couple of days? I feel like we need to get you two closer. And
I don't know. I text him every day. He texts me.
Okay.
Yeah, but like I said, I hate to die out of town too, and like how to get my body and my car back. Like I got all these stuff. My tools are here, so like I'm just gonna drive back and forth and die at home. That was my thought, And then they locked us down and they laid off a bunch of us, and I was home for like 6 months. And so I got really productive. I bought chickens. I built a chicken coop. I put out an album.
You should have done that backwards. You should have built a chicken coop and then got chickens.
Yeah.
That's the way I always feel.
Well,
You should do it.
Never know. You build
What
it.
came first, the chicken coop or the chicken?
What definitely comes first is those eggs, bro. It was like 12 a day. I had 8 chickens. It was out of control. Like, what are you gonna do with 12? I can't eat that many. And even with the amount of kids I have, it's like out of control. Too many chickens.
Oh wow.
But that's when I started realizing, I need to produce more shows because I want to talk about MMA or politics, but I don't want to bring it on this show.
I would like to combine the two. I would like to do an MMA show with comedians, and they have to fight first, and whoever wins gets to do like 20-minute set afterwards.
How about this? It'd be an MMA show, but with politicians commentated by comedians.
Do they have to actually fight?
They fight.
Oh,
like Ted Cruz versus Barry Sanders, and they fucking go at it.
Yeah, that would not. That wouldn't do well for anybody. It's just,
but not punching though. It'd only be grappling.
I still think Barry would die so quickly. I don't think Ted Cruz is that physically imposing, but over Barry, yeah, he is.
Well, he might not be able to make it because his daughter probably would tell him he had to go somewhere else.
Yeah, had an
excuse.
Go out of town.
You have a show tomorrow?
Tomorrow, Jen Felix, my fiance, is headlining the show. We're starting to ramp up for July. We'll start having actually this month we have Kostaki Economopoulos coming out and Nurses Night Out on Fridays, and Kostaki's going to be here Friday and Saturday. Those shows always sell out, so we're looking forward to that. He's off the Bob and Tom show. He's on it. He's one of the weekly regulars on that. And then Nurses Night Out is the essential workers show. But that show sells out every year, too.
Why would you want to show where nurses are at?
Well, we're doing a show because the headlining comedian is a NICU nurse.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's his kind of branding for his show. He does it once a year. Brands the show Nurses Night Out. He goes all over California doing it. And this is his stop here. He's a local guy now. He used to live out of San Jose as well. Did nursing over there. Now he's doing the NICU thing here. Plus, he's learning how to fly helicopters. He's a helicopter nurse as well. He's got all this stuff going on. But he's also a very funny stand-up. One of my road dogs. He's one of the guys when I went to Hawthorne, I brought him with me, and he goes on the road a lot. with me. He's funny dude.
Yeah, and right there, what you're talking about, you said it quite a few times. You've always talked about the bonding and the groups of people you are. That's a key element, and I've been trying to talk to everybody about this community in this town. There's a big opportunity for us. We're the 5th largest population of California. We're right between LA and San Francisco. There could be a huge mecca of a lot of stuff that's our age group. The old age group of this town is fading off, and we're going to bring something new here.
Yeah.
But we really got to bond together. I've reached out. I mean, I really appreciate you. You know, said you coming on the show means a lot to us. We reach out to a lot of people, and a lot of people are like, "Who the fuck are you?" I'm like, "I'm nobody." But then again,
who the fuck are you?
You're my neighbor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Hey.
it's not a big deal. I get more no's and yeses.
You know what? It's I have nothing else to do.
Hey.
I don't have a real job, what people consider a real job. I work with the Dicicoos a little bit with the shows, but that's the closest part I have to getting a job. The rest of it is getting booked on shows out of town.
Yeah.
And that is life-giving to a comic, because sure, people come out to see the shows because they know I'm going to book a good show, but they also get tired of seeing me every week. They get tired of seeing a lot of the comics every week. That's why I bring in comics from out of town to keep it fresh every week. I'm not just booking my friends from around here, which we have a lot of comics that are very funny from around here. They could easily carry the show. We got, well, Jen, we've got Tom Smith, we've got Eddie Trevino, who's hilarious, Johnny Osborne, Feather to Wise, Andre Covington. These guys are all professional comics that happen to live in our area as well. Chris Cruz, he's doing a lot of it for a living too, and throwing some good.
Tower Theater they were recently.
Yeah, that was the last one that was at the Tower was Eric Schwartz, and I believe it's Renee Vaca, who's actually used to be out of Merced. Now he lives in L.A. He produces some really good shows at the Tower. Yeah. The first show I did with him at the Tower, though, he didn't know there was a comedy scene around here. 6 people showed up to it in the Tower Theater.
Oh man,
it was crazy.
Yeah, I've as a playing in bands, I've played to shows like that. I remember one time I played, and it was basically like one lady they brought from an old folks home, and then her mom or her son and daughter, who were also 75, and she had Parkinson's, and it kind of worked out great because I play rock music, so the whole time she's sitting there like this, just going back and forth. I'm like, fuck yeah, lady, get into it. I'm all fucking jamming. I'm all, someone get some video of this. This lady loves my band, and then the whole way she took it all the way to the parking lot. She didn't stop rocking.
Yeah, there you go.
Fuck yeah. But she was the only person there.
Her but yeah, I've done a lot. That's another portion of my income is I've done old folks homes, which never go never. I actually have a bit about the last old folks home we did. It's true story. And then like churches, I do an all clean set. Atheist who goes out and makes money at churches. I do a lot of corporate gigs, especially around the holidays. I get a big portion of what I'm going to make through the year.
I hear what those are good.
Yeah. And I think my biggest payday is me and my fiance do a show around Valentine's Day. And that show, we usually sell out anywhere from 6 to 7 of those shows.
Hell yeah.
It's called Mr. and Mrs. Stand-Up. And it's stand-up at the beginning, and then me and her sit down and answer questions from the audience.
Awesome.
So it's a mix between improv and stand-up. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a good idea. Yeah. Yeah, that's what you kind of need sometimes. Everybody needs it's not just a joke, but you need a look. You have a little show you have there. That's a good look. Not a little show. I guess you put 6 or 7 fucking shows together. That's a big show. But that's a nice look.
Yeah. We had a good time at it. It's another thing I decided not to do. I'm not gonna run myself to death because I was stealing from Peter to pay Paul, because I wanted the comics to have as many mics as they could get on.
Yeah.
But it was also wearing me down, and my bottom line was getting affected because there were so many shows that I was running. And here's the thing. If you have a Monday and a Tuesday show, somebody's like, oh, well, I'll just go to the Tuesday show. And then when Tuesday comes up, a lot of those people have stuff come up. Yeah. So people were having too many choices. Now I've narrowed it down. If I sell out a Friday show, if it sells out soon enough, then maybe I'll do a Saturday show. But I'm not going to have a Friday and Saturday show and 15 people show up at the Friday show and 12 people show up at the Saturday show instead of having 35, 40 people at one show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because people know this is my one shot at it.
I agree.
So that's what we're doing from here on out. We're gonna run one open mic, just the tips, and one slice of comedy premium show at the end with no open mic.
Yeah. And then you say the slice comedies Fridays?
Yeah, it'll be Fridays. Some will be Friday and Saturday, depending on the ticket sales.
Awesome. Well, I really appreciate you having those shows. Like I said, it gives me a place literally, 100 yards from here.
Yeah.
I also get to walk there and come back here and,
Throw up
get
another
back
podcast.
Yeah.
Well, sure. Got to start getting some of the comics down here.
That's the idea. So I got to get them like a face down there so they recognize me so it doesn't seem like I'm fucking some
Well,
Lambs.
and I can also talk to him and tell him you're legit.
Yeah.
That,
you want me to help you
helps
load
out
this
a lot.
couch in the back of my van?
Yeah.
Like a
That's
size
how I
12.
met him. It was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It works out. Get in a hole, what it is. Well, I greatly appreciate you, Danny.
Right.
And your open door policy. You're welcome to come back. Jossrick will be here one day, and
Who's that?
we have another co-host.
Oh,
Jossrick.
is that the empty chair? What's his name?
Jossrick. He works. He's
Jossick?
Jossrick.
Jossrick.
He's sick.
Jossrick.
Seek.
Jossick.
Yeah, he's Seek. So he works at a gas station.
Hey, Jossick. I'm so sorry you're not here, man.
He does Sinclair, the one with the dinosaur. His family owns a couple of those bad boys.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's awesome.
Yeah.
So, but he'll make it one day. So far, every time we had a guest, he hasn't been able to make it. So he's like,
Well, next time I come on, I want to be on with him. So let's. I feel like I've only got half the experience.
For sure.
So I want it to be a nice menage a trois between the three
Yeah,
of
it'll be
us.
a stereo effect of us.
So
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna go down and personally invite him. I'm gonna go to every gas station with a dinosaur in front of it.
Fuck yeah.
And ask for Jossick.
Yeah. He's the Middle Eastern guy. So when you go in there, he'll be the Middle Eastern guy.
Oh, okay.
He's Sikh,
So
but
at the gas station,
Yeah,
he'll be
he-
the Middle Eastern guy. That should be easy to find.
not a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No problem whatsoever.
Awesome. Well, once again, just for tips on Wednesdays, all the future shows coming up. Check on Instagram. Danny.
Eventbrite.com, Clovis Comedy Scene. You can see the list of all the shows that we have up there right now. We have some, like I said, Kostaki's coming out. Brandy Posey, who's her podcast has just blown up. It's gotten picked up, and it's getting like national play.
Hell yeah. What's it called?
Forgot.
Awesome.
I just to look up Brandy Posey.
I'll look it up.
I don't. Sorry guys, I don't listen to podcasts that
Hey,
much.
that's okay.
My fiance is addicted to him, and she was like, I keep hearing, because she knows Brandy really well. She was like, I keep hearing Brandy's show being advertised on some dog podcast thing. I guess it's one of the big ones. Earwolf.
Oh yeah.
On Earwolf, and hers just got picked up with advertising and the whole
Awesome.
stuff. So,
Heck yeah.
and so, just to let you know, comics who I've had on my show get picked up for Big Time Podcast. So you guys are next.
Oh,
So,
thank you.
you're welcome.
Blessed us.
I
Thank
won't
you.
make anything from it,
Yeah.
but you guys will be
Hey,
doing great.
we always hand it down. We're here to help everybody else.
It's
Yeah,
pay it forward.
We are the shoulders that everybody gets to stand on. you
Yeah.
know? So
When they go low, you go high.
yeah, exactly. Thank you, Michelle. Well, once again, it's a great show. Like, subscribe, share. We out.
We